And the six mental virtues, Shat Sampat, are, in order for you to realize, you have to have the sense of serenity, called Sama. Sama is tranquility, serenity. That means your mind cannot go up and down. If your mind is very disturbed, then your mind will go up and down. And that you're not. You have to work on, you have to use all the different yoga techniques to stabilize your mind before you can realize the truth about yourself. So that's why it requires a good moon, yeah, and a good fourth house. So we need to not make mistake, because a good moon does not mean necessarily that it is exalted moon. Not necessarily. I've seen in many cases exalted moon actually is a problem. Because exalted moon means a person will have a lot of emotions and they don't know what to do with it. You see? So it's not necessarily a good moon. Yeah? A good moon, that means a good fourth house has to be a person that is stable. A good moon has to be stable. It has to be anchored. And I found that the mind that is not anchored, the moon that is alone, is a very difficult situation. When the person is lonely and they are not connecting properly, because moon is connection. When you don't connect properly, then you don't see things properly. You cannot see things properly about others, therefore you cannot see things properly about oneself. Therefore the vision of reality will be distorted. So one has to find in the chant if the person is serene or tranquil, yeah. Otherwise, the path of Jnana Yoga is not the one to advise. They have to do Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. If they have a very shaky moon, they have to do Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, in order to strengthen the mind before you even talk to them about self-inquiry. Yeah, because the emotional mind cannot do self-inquiry. Dhamma. Dhamma means control the senses. It is said, the scriptures say, if your senses are overpowering your thinking, then you cannot think correctly about reality and about yourself. So therefore, you need to have a strong sense of self-control. So a good sadhana will give that sense of self-control. Yeah, but you have to again evaluate that the good sadhana is not repressing. Because again, I have seen make mistake also, that you think that a person that has a strong sadhana, yeah, has a good sense of control, but or sometimes we make a mistake. It's not a sense of control. It's a sense of fear that makes the person over-controlling or repressing. And that is not the right thing to do. Yeah? That person has to have a sense of self-discipline. Yeah? A good sadhana has to show self-discipline, not repression out of fear. Sense of control of Venus is important, because you know, if the sense of lust is not controlled, yeah, it's a beginning of a lot of other things. So you need to, in order for you to move into higher level of yourself, you would have to have some level of controlling, yeah, or sublimation of the emotions, the emotional mind, sensual mind, and sexual mind. Yeah, Venus exalted can be good in many ways, but also be very careful. The same like we say, moon exalted, Venus exalted, can create a lot of problem. That means a person might be not able to control the sense of the Venus, and Venus can be leading the way, and it can lead the whole thing in a different direction. Uparati. Uparati means turning inward. Resolutely, it is said in scripture, say, resolutely turning inward. What that means, turning inward, doesn't mean that person is escaping from reality. It just means that person have that dispassion strong enough to know that there is no thing out there, no happiness to be looked at externally. Yeah. So at that time, the person would look for the truth or the happiness within. Doesn't mean that they reject, the life. It's not that. Yeah, or become a monk. It's not that. It just, the dispassion has to be strong enough, the understanding that the happiness external is ephemeral, so that you can go into the consciousness in order to find the truth. So, the turning inward, oftentimes you can see in the moon in the 12th house says, that the person will be restless or be depressed if they cannot find moksha. Yeah, it's a moksha house, moon there. Person is constantly worrying about moksha for oneself and others. Saturn moon can represent that. The turning inward is not necessarily depression. Depression for a person that doesn't have the understanding of their spiritual purpose in their life. But when a person has Saturn moon, it's a very good thing to say. It's positively to the person. It's a very good indication that you need to turn inward and meditate more. Shraddha means faith. Faith is important. Faith means to have a vision of the truth and of oneself, and not being shaken by what you see and perceive in the present. So, faith, it is said that you need to have faith in oneself. Yeah, so a strong sun would show that. Faith in oneself, faith in the teacher, so a strong Jupiter is needed, and faith in the teaching also. Strong Jupiter, strong 9th house, strong 5th house will indicate all this. Strong Venus, because it also can indicate also devotion. 5th and 9th house. Titiksha. Titiksha means endurance. Strong Saturn, strong Mars. So in the journey for self-realization, one has to be able to endure, be able to bear the result of the fruits of the karma, whatever it comes, and still be detached from it, and still see through it. Otherwise, if we collapse under any kind of challenges, then we will not be able to understand our lesson. So the endurance is a strong Saturn, strong Mars. Samadhana is a 6th virtue. It's a mental balance or equanimity. Need to have a good moon, a good Venus, a good Jupiter, good Mercury, good Mars, good Sun, good Saturn. All the planets need to be good. All the planets need to be good in order for us to have the equanimity that Sri Krishna talked about in Bhagavad Gita. To be able to be strong and not yielding. Ananta, you come here and you do a 3 posture. Ananta Chaitanya is the yoga teacher. So now do a 3 posture. Because I don't know that you have later on time to do yoga asanas. So this is a very simple posture. Hands up. Yeah, this is a very simple posture, but it represents the samadhana. Yeah, that means the person, in order to hold, has to have this. They have to look a little bit far away, have to fixate their vision. Yeah, and if I come and criticize, you have a bad posture, then he will shake. Then he loses equanimity. I will praise him. Oh, look at the wonderful posture. Then he will lose his equanimity. So we have to go through life like this. Be able to be balanced at all time. In praise and censure, in success and failure, in whatever happened in life, be able to be calm. So thank you. So that calmness represents this dwelling on the truth of oneself. Okay? So all the planets, if they are weak, need to be strengthened. They strengthen. The more the planets are strengthened, the more you'll be able to find that equanimity and strength.